All right, let's get fired up here. It's the wee hours of Wednesday morning, and it's time for an old man yapping. And I got my Jubilee right here. So, what I wanted to talk about today was all of the various games that I picked up at the Steam Autumn Sale, and the various thoughts that I had about them. And to start with, I picked up there's this 3-game series about you want those games, right? Which is a duplication of all of the bullshit mobile game ads that say, hey, look how cool this game is, and then you go play the game, and that's not the game. Like, the game is a totally different thing, and they just lied to you in the trailer. Well, there's a collection of 3 games that collect all of those bullshit mobile games that don't really exist and actually made them a real thing. And those were kind of fun, but I didn't really expect it to be that great in the first place. So, and I don't like the way they operate. They have this kind of progression in them where it's like puzzles of increasing difficulty. I don't really like the puzzles of increasing difficulty model for games. I don't think that's fun because I spend long periods of time just kind of breezing through shit, and then I get to something hard. And then when I'm done, I just breeze through shit again for like 8 or 9 levels. It never stays challenging, and it's just like these little nuggets of this one is challenging. So I don't really enjoy that as a general rule. I don't really like the way that everything's easy except 8 of them, which are scattered randomly through the series. But those implementations of the fake mobile games are actually pretty good, and they're kind of fun. So, I can't really complain about it. I can't say that they're bad games. I can say, well, I don't like this part, I don't like that part. But they're fun enough. They're reasonable enough. Oh, yeah. I've also spoken a little bit previously about the Gnorp epilogue, which I don't know how to make meaningful progress in. It takes forever to make progress in that game, and I don't really know which upgrades I should focus on to be productive. So that's frustrating and upsetting. And then on the other side of things, there's Idle Colony, where I just go through and upgrade stuff, and every so often I make a bunch of progress, and I don't know why I made progress. I can't seem to correlate that progress with anything. Like when the little window comes up that says maintain this income level for a certain period of time. I don't know how I got that income level. So I don't know how to maintain it. I mean, either it stays that way or it doesn't. I don't know how to, like, make it stay there. But if I just, like, fuck around and keep upgrading stuff, it will. So both of those I find uninteresting for complementary reasons. At the same time I bought those 2, I also bought Tower Wizard. Tower Wizard was fun. It did eventually kind of bog down, and it was just sitting around waiting for progress to happen. But that's typical of that kind of game, so I can't really complain too much about it. And I did finish it, and I had fun finishing it, so that was a pretty cool game. I got Hades. I wouldn't say I like it. I wouldn't say I don't like it. It's kind of like Diablo, which is not what I expected it to be. I expected it to be more Vampire Survivors, less Diablo. But instead, it's basically Diablo. So I'm not upset about it. Diablo was a good game. It's just not a game that I typically want to spend a lot of time playing. At some point, I'll play through the whole thing and like learn the story and whatnot. The art is amazing. I love the polish on Hades. It's really, really well done. I also got Mouthwashing. Mouthwashing was a cool game for the story. And I really enjoyed going through it for the story. The idea of going through it again for achievements, though, it's not as compelling as Me-Side. There's not as much question left about what was going on in it and what I should have been noticing or doing. And some of the achievements, like there's one for complete this level in 40 seconds. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. I don't give a shit. I don't want to complete the level in 40 seconds. Fuck you for asking me to do it. So it's like, you give me one achievement that I don't feel like doing, and now I don't care about getting all the achievements. And if I don't care about getting all the achievements, I don't care about getting any of the achievements. It's the same way with GTA 5. There's a bunch of achievements that I have to get in the online mode, and I don't want to. So I'm not gonna. So I don't care about any of the other. I don't care about any of the other achievements either. Wait, I got some downloads waiting. Bloons TD6 and Unnamed Space Idol. Unnamed Space Idol has been getting a lot of updates lately. I don't really know why. But let's see, what else was there? Oh, I got a couple of puzzle games. I got Boxes and Doors Paradox. Now, Doors Paradox is a series of puzzles, but they're not increasing levels of difficulty. They're just a bunch of puzzles. They're all roughly equivalent difficulty, and you get better at them as you go, but they don't really get any harder. You kind of figure them out and go, oh, I know what I'm supposed to do here. And every time I get stuck in them, every time I feel like, this is difficult, it's because there's something I didn't know I could click on. And if I just look around, I'll figure it out and go, oh, I'm supposed to click on that. Oh, yeah, now here's the thing, and now I put that thing over here, and then that gives me this thing to go over here, and that thing to go over there, and everything just falls into place. And I enjoy those games. I really do. They're not very mentally stimulating, but they are fun, and you get to, see the stuff happen. And I think what makes Doors, Paradox, and Boxes good games is the very detailed and intricate art style that they're done in. I think that's really cool, and I really enjoy them. And the last one, the one that I really want to talk about, because it's another horde survival game, and I get horde survival games every so often just to look at them and see if there's anything interesting to learn from them. What did they do different in this one that I might be able to steal for my own? And Spell Disc had an interesting solution to a problem that I've been examining in horde survival games. Namely, that once you unlock enough weapons and items, it's really difficult to do any kind of consistent build. And the reason you can't do a consistent build is you can't rely on getting the things you need. So if you can't rely on getting the things you need for a build, you can't do that build. And as you get more and more stuff unlocked, it's just like, well, now I've got to go in and I've got to use the banish upgrade to remove things so I don't get them. and I got to use a bunch of re-rolls to try and get the thing that I want. And Spell Disc seems to have gone exactly the other direction. And what they've done is they've just created such an immense quantity of weapons and items that it's just like, fuck you. You'll never be able to do a decent build. What, Banish? No, you don't have a Banish. You can get reroll. You can get, I don't know, like 8 reroll. You can have 8. That's it. That's all you get. You don't get any more than that. So they've just kind of gone, no, you can't do a consistent build. That's not the kind of game this is. You're not allowed to do a consistent build. That's not how it works. And I don't know, it kind of works. I don't like it. I would rather do a consistent build, but at the same time, it does kind of work. So I had more fun with Spell Disc than I expected. I expected it not to be much fun at all. Once I kind of got into it, I went, oh my God, there's no way to do a consistent build. Yeah, they've designed it explicitly so you can't do a consistent build. It's not a thing that you can do. Okay. So I've been going through that. I haven't like finished it. There's like, I don't remember the guy's name. An emperor or something that you need to defeat, and I haven't gotten there yet. So yeah, I haven't done that, but I have gotten most of the way through the game. As in, there's one weapon I haven't beaten the game with, one core starting weapon. That is. The other weapons you don't get to choose from, and there are some upgrades that I still need to buy, but I don't see them really making a difference in the playthroughs. Anyway, that's kind of that's where I sit with the dozen or so games I bought in the Steam Autumn sale. Let me take a look at it. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I'm gonna turn off group by collection. And I'm going to sort by last played. And I'm going to take a look. Oh, I also played Fruit Stand Fortune. Fruit Stand Fortune is a free-to-play game, so I didn't really count it as an autumn sale title. And it's okay, I guess. Took me 3 hours to get all the achievements and beat the game. But it was kind of interesting. I didn't really get any ideas from it. And let's see, Idle Pixel Fantasy. Did I do much with? Oh yeah, I completed this, but I didn't get all of the. I didn't get all of the. I didn't get all of the achievements. Yeah, there's a bunch of dumb shit in here. Like, let's see. Defeat a boss with only one type of elite units. I don't care. Finish a run without clicking on chests, crystals, or the boss. I don't care. Finish a run only with humanoid units. I don't care. So, yeah, that's one of the. There's a few achievements in there that I don't care about, and therefore I don't care about any of the achievements. Just isn't that interesting to me anymore. What else? I played some Factorio. I played this thing called Walking Survival. And I don't think it was very good because I only played it for 20 minutes and I don't have any real memory of it. It was basically another horde survival game, but I don't think it really had anything great about it. It wasn't bad, I don't think, and I think it may have been free. Yeah, it looks like it's free. But it was interesting enough. It's a horde survival game, and I like horde survival games. And I kind of wonder, with respect to Spell Disc, whether Spell Disc is fun for me because I play a lot of horde survival games. Maybe? I don't know. Like, would it be fun if I had never played one before? You can never really go back. You can never really go back and play a game like it's your first time playing it. I mean, you can do that with certain types of games, you know? Like, you can do that with an RPG. You can pretend you don't know. You can pretend you don't know stuff, and you can choose different options, and you can go a different path and not go down the one that has the cool weapon you got last time. You just ignore that path. You can do what I do every time I play Skyrim, which is where you come out of the dungeon under Helgen, and Rayloff or Hadvar, whichever one you follow, they go, wait, and then the dragon flies off overhead, and they go, oh, looks like it's gone now. Let's head down to Riverwood. I'm sorry, are you pointing the same direction that fucking dragon just went? 'Cause nope. All of my nope. I'm not going that same. I'm not going down there. That fucking dragon just destroyed an entire fucking town. I'm not gonna go hang out in the nearest town to where we saw the dragon go. No, fuck that. I'm going the exact opposite direction. I am going entirely the opposite direction. No. And then I end up either in Riften or in Windhelm, depending on which direction I turn. There's a fork in the road. And it's like, you go one direction and there's a bunch of Khajiit that try to kill you. And you go the other direction and there's nothing. So if you go that direction, you're fairly cool, and then you end up in Riften. But if you go the direction where the Khajiit try to kill you, and you make it through that, which is a fairly tough fight that early in the game when you're still like level 1 or 2. If you make it through that, then you can get to Windhelm. And I do prefer to go to Windhelm because it's like my headcanon. This is going to sound familiar if you know anything about how I play Starfield. You get to Windhelm, and as you there, I develop an enormous crush on Niranye. No reason. Just I don't know. There's just in all the Bethesda games, I pick somebody and go, yeah, that's the girl right there. That's the one. I'm gonna fixate on that one for no good reason. Of course, Niranye is not somebody that you can marry. I usually end up marrying Silja, who's in what is it, Shore Stone, because there's the alchemist in Riften who sends you to Shore Stone, and when you get to Shore Stone, Silja is injured and she can't work in the mines, and she couldn't work in the mines even if you had already cleared out all the spiders. So it's like I'm just predictable. I have this whole broken bird thing where I'm like, oh, the poor thing, she's injured, she can't work. I have to take care of her. It's the same reason that I adopt Lucia from Whiterun and Sophie from Windhelm, because little girls shouldn't be homeless on the street. That's not okay. They need a place to live. That's not good. They need somebody to take care of them. So I adopt those two kids, and I marry Silja because she's injured. And that's my pattern. That's what I always do. And people are always like, why do you like Silja so much? Not so much. It's just she needs a husband. She can't work in the mine anymore. She needs a husband. I'm fucking weird. Kind of like with Huang Le. With Huang Le in Starfield, it's just like somebody needs to take care of her. She should come live on my ship and like let me take care of her and make sure she has a place to stay and enough to eat, and she can like, I don't know, do something around the ship. She's probably got some skill that's useful. Lately, I've been thinking that a useful thing Huang Le could do on a ship is, if you board and take over other ships a lot, which I do a lot of stuff for the Trackers Alliance. So if you capture other ships a lot, you could imagine that Huang Le was on board to like go through the ship and find everything of value. You can pretend she's the one that does that. It just happens automatically when you sell the ship, but you could pretend she's the one that does it and puts everything in the cargo. If you wanted. Just like a role play. Fallout 4, I don't really have anybody that I fixate on. I mean, I kind of like Piper, but, well, hold on, no. It's just in Fallout 4, it's a guy, because McCready. Yeah. Yeah, McCready could get it. yeah, it's I don't have a girl that I tag around with in Fallout 4, because there's a guy. Oh, jeez. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to yap about, really. I've been playing through Starfield. I've been doing, like, all of the stuff. I started a new game. I started, like, I think it's the 28th NG Plus run in Starfield. But, I started that. And, the first thing I did was just, like, immediately go and do the main quest, or skip the main quest, really. I did all of the artifact gathering so I could build the Unity. And then I was like, there's really no point to doing the rest of this stuff. And I was just kind of looking at it, and I was going, I don't actually need to do any of these other quests. Because it's semantically equivalent if I just go through the Unity, and then all of the quests I haven't done are still quests I haven't done. Nothing changes. Only the main quest changes at this point. I got to thinking about that. See, one of the things about Starfield is kind of a time loop game. Because you start every New Game Plus in orbit around Vectera in the Narian system. The first time you play through the game, you do your whole find the first artifact thing. But then you do your first New Game Plus run, and now you don't do that. You get to go through the whole thing as Starborn. And then you get to your third New Game Plus, and it's in the third one that you really get to kind of, I've been through this as regular person, I've been through this as Starborn, and now I can go through this as Starborn again. And as you kind of loop through it, as you loop through Starfield over and over again, your understanding of what the game is and means evolves. And one of the things that's been kind of poking at me lately is you can never really guarantee. The hunter and the emissary are not the same person every time through the game. The emissary, in particular, changes identities. And I think the hunter does too. And on top of this, this was an interesting thing that I did. I played through, and my camera is not focused right again. I played through, and I said, I'm not gonna tell them I'm Starborn. I'm just gonna go through this like regular. And I went through, and I just went ahead and let the hunter kill one of Constellation. So I wanted to see whether they'd call it out. When I got later on in there, I wanted to know whether the hunter would go, you actually let me kill one of them. You knew it was going to happen, and you let it happen. Why would you do such a thing? Because Sarah sucks. Fuck her. I don't like Sarah. I like that she dies. Fuck off, Sarah. I'm not always a nice person. But, yeah, I went through and I let somebody die, and I was just wondering if you could. And as a result of that, there are a couple of things you can't do in New Game Plus if you skip the main quest. If you go, I'm Starborn, let me tell you all about it, and then we can speedrun collecting all the artifacts. If you do that, number one, you cannot get Lynn and Heller from the mining consortium on Vectera to join your crew. There's no way to do it. Number two, you never go and get the artifact from the collector. That's also that's if you let the hunter kill somebody, then you get to go and visit the collector. But if you don't, then you don't get to visit the collector. So you've got only one way to visit the collector. You have to go through the full game, and you have to go through the full quest line, and you have to let him kill somebody to be able to go to the collector's ship. And the other thing is the fucking parallel universe quest at Nishina. I hate that quest. I really do. I really dislike it. And I've never been able to bring myself. The first time I played through the quest, I came across the dude's body, and I looked on it, and I got the little slate, and it was like, here's how you save both universes. And that's the only thing I've ever done. I've never made the choice on that trolley problem. And I complain about that a lot. I complain a lot about people who, when faced with the trolley problem, go, no, there must be a way that I don't have to make the choice. No, you have to make the choice. That's the purpose of the trolley problem. But in this, you don't have to make the choice. You don't have to deal with the trolley problem. You could just save everybody, which is fascinating, and that's fairly cool. I don't really have a problem with that, but I have never seen what happens when you make the choice. I'm tempted to go through it and choose the destroyed universe. See what that's like. Just let everybody be dead. I don't know. I think that would be interesting to see. I think it would be interesting to see, like, if you go ahead and if you just go ahead and you say, fuck it, the engineer's dead. That's fine. Save everybody else. But it's a save one person, save lots of people. What are you going to do? Clearly, from an ethical standpoint, you should save lots of people. But what if you only save the one guy? How does that spec? I'd like to see both of those. I haven't been able to bring myself to do it. I think about it every time. Then I'm like, no, I don't want to. I want to save everybody. Because I'm a dork. That's one of the things that I think is important among Starfield players. You almost never find a Starfield player who's fucking psychotic. They don't go on rampages. They're not maniacs or lunatics. They don't do the thing where I see a lot of people say that in Skyrim they will quick save, massacre an entire town, laugh about it, and then load their save game. I don't think people who do that shit like Starfield. I don't think it appeals to them, because more and more I look at Starfield and I go, one of the core messages of Starfield is impotence. You can't actually affect change in the world. You can affect change later in the world, but you can't make any meaningful change in the world now. And I think that's interesting, because most games don't let you affect any meaningful change in the world now, but they act like they do. They act like they've given you fantastic cosmic power and you can change everything. But you can't. You can't change anything unless they let you change it. And Starfield doesn't let you change much of anything. And one of the things that I've been thinking about with Nishina is, you keep going through the Unity, and the Starborn keep going through the Unity, and scattered around the universe are all of these identical locations. And every time you go and you look for the artifacts are in different places. So it's like things are moving around, but things are also being duplicated. And I kind of sit here and I wonder if one of the things Starfield is trying to say with, here's an abandoned cryolab, and within the abandoned cryolab, there's a body hanging out of the vent, and that body has the storage room keycard on it. I think that's the same lab. Like, I know a lot of people are going, I've run into the exact same lab in 4 different places. They're on different planets. They're all over the place. It's ridiculous. The devs are lazy and stupid, and they just copied and pasted, and it doesn't make sense. I think they're the same lab. I think that's one lab that's been duplicated and spread across multiple planets through intersecting parallel universes. And one of the things that really kind of brings us home is the Muybridge Pharmaceuticals lab, because the Muybridge Pharmaceuticals lab, you you find the brothers at the end of it, and I've never actually tracked it, but I think I've found it on different planets in different playthroughs. And I think I've found it multiple times in a single playthrough. And that's not just a nameless scientist with the key. That's named NPCs. I feel like you're supposed to notice that and connect the dots and go, there is only one abandoned cryolab. It wasn't copied and pasted in development, although that probably is how it worked from a meta standpoint. It is literally a location in the world that is duplicated in the world by forces in the world. I don't know. Maybe the Starborn DLC will shed some light on that. I still... What are the xenogrubs? I mean, they exist for a reason. They exist in specific places. They must exist for a reason. There has to be a lore explanation for xenogrubs. What's it? What's the explanation? I don't know. I was hoping we'd get an explanation from Shattered Space. I was hoping we would get much more of an Eldritch Horror DLC from Shattered Space, but no, fairly pedestrian parallel universe stuff. They're approaching parallel universe theory from the direction of religion instead of science, which I approve because I'm an occult science graduate, so. Rudolf Steiner's whole thing was approaching parallel universe theory from the direction of magic and religion instead of physics and chemistry. So I approve of the concept. You get to the same place coming from either direction. That's the intersection. That's where everything happens. But there's so much stuff to think about in there, and there's so much stuff that just like occurs to me as I play the game. I don't have the real answer. And I think not having the real answer is really what compels me. I think there are people who get really annoyed when they don't have the real answer. And then there are people like me who are like, but what if I found it? What if I looked hard enough and I found the real answer? That would be so fucking cool. And that's that is largely what keeps me playing Starfield. Is feeling like I don't have all the answers. And understanding I may never have all the answers. But yes, it's fascinating. Anyway, God, this has been over a half an hour. I've just been rambling about games. Anyway. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And, okay, bye.